What is imposter syndrome? This syndrome was first identified in the 1970s by a study done by Dr. Pauline Rose Clance and Dr. Suzanne Imes. And imposter syndrome's increasingly gained societal awareness and has, even though it has yet to become part of the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual, so the DSM of mental disorders, currently 5th edition. However, it is very culturally popular right now, if popular is a correct term to use, perhaps in particular because of these last few years of quite a bit of increased suffering due to global events. Also, imposter syndrome is typically a pathology applied or found in people who are not of the dominant culture. And dominant culture, um, for us, if we're not part of that, that means we're a non-cis, white, and or wealthy male. And imposter syndrome is currently described in our society as a pathology that one suffers from. So you'll find me using quotes for a few of these, and that will become clearer as we work our way through this particular topic. And then finally, suffering in our cultural context insinuates that the deficiency is in the person who's experiencing imposter syndrome, rather than acknowledging the damage caused by their surrounding cultural constructs. So getting into it, and this slide and the next slide is informed by Recovery Village, which does have some good resources. The exact cause or causes of imposter syndrome are currently unknown, or at least unofficially acknowledged by the medical community. There are comorbidities or co-diagnoses that have been observed in those who identify as having imposter syndrome, and those can be ADHD, anxiety, and depression as some of the most commonly found for those experiencing imposter syndrome. And psychologists believe it's likely that upbringing, personality, and genetic factors all play a role in the development of imposter syndrome. This particular bullet point does get into some critical evaluation as we move forward. And additionally, some of our work environments may also be more likely to trigger imposter syndrome than others. Societal pressures related to one's career or professional life, and high achieving fields or individuals in those particular fields can feel the pressure to perform and be on top of their game. So these are all bullet points from these two slides that have been identified in general by the medical community, but are no means authoritative or in some cases actually accurate to the entire picture. Also, if you're a fan of taking tests, the doctor who was one of the investigators and authors of the original imposter syndrome study in the 1970s, Dr. Pauline Rose Clance, has a website that has all of the resources she's developed on imposter syndrome. And this particular test link is one of those resources you can go check out. So if you are a fan of taking tests, this is a test to indicate if you are suffering from imposter syndrome, which I find just a little amusing because if you're at this webinar and if imposter syndrome has been anywhere on your awareness landscape, I think it's fair to say that we probably don't need to take a test to know that we have it.